Castrol, South Africa are proud to present the 1995 Castrol International Rally. As the premier rallying event in South Africa, the Castrol International Rally draws its own following of both competitors and spectators alike. As the first round of the All-African Rally Championship, entrants from across the northern borders join the local drivers and navigators for 3 days of punishing motorsport. With them come machinery the likes of which the local drivers seldom see. Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide, in their Castrol Toyota Conquest, have an unbroken record of victory this season and would dearly love to add the Castrol to their list, a title last year's winner Hannes Grobler intends to keep.
At the moment we're feeling very good, the car is very good, and I hope we can repeat the win from last year on the Castrol. And I see there's a lot of entries here, some good international entries, and I think we're going to have very stiff competition here.
As A-grade international license holders, Ian Duncan and Dave Williamson automatically head the 59-strong field. The multiple Kenyan rally champions and winners of last year's Tough Safari Rally could be the crew that the previously luckless Serge and Vito will have to beat.
Well, the Castrol has been a bit of a doubtful event for me. We usually seem to start the year very well, and then by the Castrol things seem to go wrong a bit. But I'm quite confident this year that we should have a clean run.
Ian, you the guy that everybody sort of sees as giving Serge a go on this Castrol rally. Is that putting pressure on you at all?
A little bit. I'm not so sure what's going to happen. We're going to go reasonably quickly, start off with and see, and then maybe we'll be miles behind. I don't know.
It's got a very quick car. I think on the fast stretches it'll go very well.
It's not the best for these stages, that's for sure, but I think when they're a bit more flowing, the car is going to be a lot better at it. So it's not that bad, that's for sure.
We all know that it's a very well-built car, and those things can go forever. But what we actually tend to do, maybe the South Africans, we seem to take it as a sprint race, and we usually go flat out from the start. For the regroup, seeing this event, it's not going to be a regroup tonight, so it's not going to make any difference. So that's probably everybody's going to settle himself in.
The Kenyan crew mount the starting ramp in Ermelo, thereby officially bringing the 1995 Castrol International Rally under starters' orders. Behind them and second on the road is last year's winner Hannes Grobler, now driving with Cape Townian Pierre Arries in the privately entered Bankman Nissan Sentra. Duncan powers the turbocharged Toyota Celica into stage 1, an 8.4-kilometer dash through the streets of Ermelo, as Serge and Vito take their place on the ramp.
All right, go!
Hannes Grobler and Pierre Arries start stage 1. Spectators from far and wide join the local Ermelo crowd that line the course through the town. Duncan posts a cautious time of 5 minutes and 23 seconds through the stage.
200 crossroad 90 right, 100 crossroad 90 right, 300 turn off 90 right and immediately 90 right, 200 turn off 90 right and immediately 90 right, 100 turn off 90 right and immediately 90 right.
Grobler attacks the stage with a bit more pace, 7 seconds faster than the Kenyan crew.
750 turn off 90 right, 550 turn off 90 right.
On the ramp, the all-Cape Town crew, Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson, as into the stage go Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide. The Toyota crew get right down to business, winning the stage in a time of 5 minutes and 14 seconds. After a dismal start to their rallying season, Jan Habich and Douglas Judd have come to the Castrol Rally intent on changing their run of bad luck. Looking down the field to 8th position on the road, Billy Rotenbach and Johan Seelung from the Hyundai Racing stable in their newly built Hyundai Accent. Back on the road for the first time this season, Eliseo Miranda and Tony Vilaka-Thomas. From Namibia, Fritz Flachberger and Vickers Bruver in the Cosworth-powered Ford Escort RS. Followed down from Kenya for the All-African Championship, Harbinder Sethi with Surinder Tati in the Toyota Celica Turbo. Interest in the Castrol Rally was raised this year with the inclusion of the off-road fraternity for an event within an event, the Video Sport Off-Road Challenge. Kasi Kutsia leads this 14-strong field. Once again, the Class C entry was to be the most competitive, with the Toyota Conquest of Etienne Lawrence and Robert Paisley up against the radio units car of Glenn Derman and Dave Levkowitz. From the tar streets of Ermelo to the loose, dusty forest roads near Amsterdam. Early onto the retirement list was Billy Rotenbach when the Hyundai broke a rocker arm in stage 2. Also out early was the Leon Buerter Nissan, sidelined with bent valves. Driving blindly through their own dust on stage 3, Ian Duncan misjudged a right-hand turn and perched the Toyota Celica on the roadside embankment, losing 3.5 minutes in the process. With the help of logs and the on-board jack, Ian and Dave free the Toyota, bouncing and jumping the Celica over the felled tree stumps. Making up the 3-minute gap between the cars, Hollis and Pierre passed the luckless Kenyan crew, confirming their lost time in the stage. Having been beaten on stage 2 by Duncan and Williamson, Serge powers the Conquest through stage 3. They cover the 11-kilometre stage in 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Hubbock and Judd push the Volkswagen to its limits, desperate to stay on the pace being set by the leading Toyota and Nissan crews. The Castrol Caravan is an oasis for its guests as the rally cars kick up an endless cloud of dust around them. Nuno de Cunha and Francois Pretorius in the second Class A Nissan Sentra. Blinded by their own dust, many of the drivers are forced to slow their pace as they make their way to Amsterdam for the first break after 5 stages and prepare for the border crossing.
Serge, leading after 5 stages, a slim lead, but the dust seems to be quite bad in these last few stages.
Well, we've had a clean stages. We haven't had any problem with dust, and everything seems to be going quite smoothly for us.
Now, it's just what 13 odd seconds I think you've got on Hannes at this stage, is it?
On the last stage, we took a little bit more off him, so it's 19 seconds, I believe, but it's still quite close for, 5 stages.
The break at Amsterdam allows the service crews to prepare the cars for the twilight stages to be run in the Usutu forests across the border in Swaziland. The cars start stage 6 in their drawn starting order. Duncan and Williamson are down in 16th place on the scoreboard after they're off in stage 3 and face a long fight up the score sheet. As the sun sinks below the mountains, the still evening air hangs heavy with dust, adding a richer contrast to the sunset. The stillness broken only by the roar of the rally cars. For the convenience of the spectators, a fast food outlet in the bush. One by one, with a 3-minute gap between them, the rally cars enter the dry forest stages. Serge is only able to equal Ian Duncan's time on stage 6, the Kenyan crew Celica more suited to the faster open stages. Hannes Grobler complains of fuel pressure problems with the Nissan. Running third on the road, Serge has the dust to contend with. After winning stage 7, Duncan departs the service area for stage 8. Hubbock's Golf lost time in stage 5 when a rear drive shaft broke. In stage 8, the leading crew of Duncan and Williamson encounter a vehicle on the route, a surprise for both drivers. Serge and Vito take back 11 seconds from the Kenyan crew on the stage, the South Africans having a clear run. We join Jan Habich and Douglas Judd in stage 8.
50, turn medium left. Left and right.
Put your belt in the way there.
Besides overshooting this bend, Jan has to contend with a misfire in the motor and is forced to nurse the Golf to the end of the stage, losing more time to the leaders. The Golf also lost a drive belt to the water pump, causing the motor to overheat.
Just leave it.
So, after 11 stages completed, Serge and Vito hold a lead of just over 3 minutes on Hannes and Pierre. Ian Duncan and Dave Williamson recovered well, finishing the night stages in 3rd place, albeit 6 minutes behind the Damso Toyota. Serge starts day 2 the leader, but cautious of the charging Duncan.
The problem we had last night, we had a bit of dust problems, and 2 of the stages it took some time off us, but we managed to make up quite a bit of time last night on them. So it depends on today what type of roads we're going to have. I think it's quite quick, but I've got a nice lead, so I'm just wait until tonight again, and then they can have the dust tonight.
Hannes Korbler has also noted the Celica's charge up the scoreboard.
We had a good run till last night, and we had some fuel pressure problems last night, and we hope we can sort it out now. Because of the rules, we're not really allowed to work on the car in between the stages, otherwise you lose time. So we're going to try and fix it this morning on the long open section, and yeah, the Toyota is in our necks and it's very fast. It's turbocharged, and hope we can stay in front of it today.
On stage 12, a long 35-kilometre run through the cane fields of northern Swaziland, Serge sets a time of 22 minutes and 46 seconds at an average speed of 91.5 kilometres an hour. Hannes overdoes things, losing time with this high-speed slide. At the end of the stage, the Nissan motor sounds decidedly offbeat.
Hannes, we heard you on stage 12 and the motor certainly wasn't healthy. You lost a lot of time. Are you out of the rally at this stage?
Yeah, we are. We just sorted the fuel pressure problems out on this one, and unlucky for us, the valve spring pulled over the retainer, and we're only on 3 cylinders. And if it wasn't that far still to go, I would have went on 3 cylinders, but it's too far, so we're pulling out.
The Nissan's retirement means promotion for the field behind. Ian Duncan and Dave Williamson inherit 2nd place. Havich's efforts are evident by the cane hanging from the back of the Golf. Dabner and Hodgson press on at a conservative but sure pace. Glenn Derman and Dave Levkovitz start the day with problems. Their pace on stage 12, slowed by a gearbox fault, carried over from the previous night. They move up a place, however, when Nuno de Cunha retires the 2nd Nissan with a blown motor further into the stage. Also, a victim on stage 12 is the Golf of Eliseo Miranda, parked with a blown head gasket. Unaffected by the drama behind, the leading Toyota gets its normal dose of TLC between the stages. Meanwhile, the spectators move into stage 14 and the only river crossing on the 529 kilometres of special stage distance. Despite a cautious approach to the river, the Conquest takes in water and in the process loses 45 seconds in the stage. Ian Duncan throws caution to the wind and by hitting the water at speed, uses the undercarriage skid plate to aquaplane the car over the crossing. Brady Dabner opts for the slow approach and gets through unscathed with just a second or two lost. The Golf makes it through the river, only to stop later in the stage and losing a total of 30 minutes in the process.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Duncan and Williamson posted the fastest times on stages 14 and 15. We join Serge and Vito in car as they start stage 16.
Followed by fork, right. 150, reverse left before culvert. 50, reverse left before culvert.
There is little to no chance for error on the sugarcane stages. Irrigation canals run parallel to the road, and where the cars cross them, the bridges are narrow with no room for mistakes.
100, T left into 90 left. Long hairpin, 90 left. T left, followed by 9. Left, left. Watch it does. 100, reverse right after Donga.
The Kenyan crew keep a fast but steady pace, slower on average to Serge, but able to capitalize on the mistakes made by the South Africans. Well behind on time, but in a safe third place, Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson press on at their own pace. Blochberger and Bruver are up to fourth place, but a full 5 minutes behind Dabner and Hodgson. Terry Brand and Jeff Tyra are next on the road, but lie well down the field on the scoreboard. Wiley Harrington with British navigator Nick Haddon, currently 7th overall and going well in their two-wheel drive Class A Toyota Conquest. Jan Habich and Douglas Judd have little chance of catching the leaders, but press on, using the Golf speed to work their way up the field. The 30 minutes lost on stage 14 has placed them in 25th position. Cassie Coetzee and Richard Leake are still well placed overall. They remain the leaders of the Video Sport Off-Road Challenge within the event. Trevor Graham and Peter Chadwick now lead Class C, having also worked their way into the top 10 on the scoreboard. Driving with just third and fifth gears working, Glenn Derman and Dave Levkowitz press on towards the regroup at Umhlume, where repairs can be made to the Conquest. The Loopstra Harriman Class B Opel Kadett is still in the running, despite using nearly a litre of engine oil in each stage. Leading Class B is the Fiat Uno Turbo of Paolo Piazzamusso and Mike Connolly. th overall and second in the off-road challenge, R.P. Reinecker and Robin Houghton in the Bankman Toyota Land Cruiser. From Zimbabwe, James Browell and Peter Marsh in the turbocharged Mitsubishi L200 van. With 17 stages completed, the weary competitors look forward to a welcome break and a midday meal at the Umhlume Country Club. The teams are regrouped and scored at this point and will later depart in their standing order as per the score sheet. With some local entertainment playing in the background, we caught up with the current leader, Serge Damso.
Now there's 3 more stages and then it's back to the forest. What's your strategy going to be now?
Well, I'd like to just get through these stages and then get back in the forest, and then I think that's where we can sort of keep control of the event still.
Now, you're obviously watching Ian Duncan all the time. Are you having to react to his times?
Well, the last 3 stages was quite interesting. You know, he took a bit of time off, and we took time off him, and he took time again on the last stage. So he's really driving very well. So it's nice to have somebody that can also pedal.
Serge and Vito have not had things all their own way, with Duncan and Williamson winning stages from them, putting pressure on Serge to keep his 6-minute lead intact. Kossikotsia has done an excellent job of keeping the off-road Hilux in amongst the leading rally cars.
It's not that easy in a trucker because the ground clearance is quite high. But make no mistake, I really still enjoying it.
Now, I mean, we remember you years gone by as being a rallyist. Is it all coming back to you now?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Especially the guys talking about our old days when I was using a Skyline.
From the Mhlume regroup, the crews face 3 more stages in the cane fields before a long open section takes them back to the Usutu forest roads for a further 6 stages. At the start of stage 20, we joined Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson in the Toyota Conquest.
Left and right, and right. 300, turn off, left 4.
Behind in stage 19, Terry Brand and Jeff Tyrer continue at a steady pace until the fuel injection unit packed up on the Golf, adding the crew to the growing list of retirements. Dabner and Hodgson completed the 5.5 kilometre stage in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Jan Habich clocked the fastest time on the stage, 19 seconds faster than Dabner and 12 seconds faster than Serge. It's a long 110 kilometre open section to the remaining 6 stages of the second day. On stage 21, Habich's Golf lost a back wheel. The team completed the stage, but having lost a further 6 minutes, decided to retire. On stage 24, Duncan's Celica suffered a puncture, losing 3 minutes in the process and extending Serge's lead to 10 minutes. On the scoreboard, a further 9.5 minutes separates Duncan and Williamson from Dabner and Hodgson. A new gearbox at Mhlume has seen Derman and Levkovitz back up to 7th place and leading Class C. So with just 7 stages remaining on the second day, the 24th Castrol Rally was as good as over. Once again, this long, demanding event had succumbed to domination, and the remaining crews would start the final day intent on survival. The third day started under cloudy, damp skies, and the dust of the Usutu forest turned to mud.
The sweep right is this mud down there, obviously. 110 seconds.
Serge and Vito seemed very relaxed. Besides the water splash on stage 14, the Conquest had hardly missed a beat, and there was no reason to think that it would.
290 right, caution, 100, is the mud down here. 90 right here.
Sticking to a reasonable speed, Serge could keep command of the pace and thereby retain his 10-minute lead. Ian Duncan and Dave Williamson would have to be content with 2nd place. Their only chance for a win would be if Serge and Vito were to retire, and that was not looking likely. The muddy roads had the car sliding and stalling as they battled for traction. But the odd second won or lost by the leaders would have no effect on the results. Brady Dabner cautiously guides his Conquest through stage 28, his 8-second lead over Flachberger and Provert safe as long as the car stays on the road. Harrington and Nick Haddon were holding on to their 6th position, but behind them in the stage, Kasi Coetzee had his hands full, keeping the Toyota Hilux on the road. The crew were losing time on the muddy surface and had picked up a 1-minute penalty for lateness into the first stage of the day. Glenn Durman had recovered well, taking 5th place from Coetzee on the scoreboard. Paolo Piazza Musso, the Class B leader, moved from 8th to 7th place, thanks mainly to Coetzee's mistake. Mid-morning on the final day, and the stages had turned south towards the finish at the Ezulweni Sun Hotel. Serge and Vito had stretched their lead to 13 minutes over the Duncan Celica and were taking the final few stages in their stride. The end of the final stage, and as always, the Toyota management are there to congratulate and share the moment with their victorious crew.
I can't be more happy, and this Castrol, it's the first time for a long time we have had a clean run. We've always had some problems in coming from the back and driving like lunatic to make up sometimes. And actually it feels very good to finish the event without any problems.
I think Serge had the view that he would attack the rally from a view that he'd understand what was happening around him and then make his decisions as he went along. And it was an incredibly pleasant event. It was under very little pressure, and it was amazing to have an event like this for such a long event and no troubles at all.
The final scoreboard tells a story of complete domination on an event that in past years has been hard fought for. Serge's domination carries over into the championship with 3 wins out of 3 rallies run so far. Piazza Musso and Connolly took Class B honours, while Durman and Levkovitz won Class C. Class D went to 20th place Badenhorst and Pfeiffer. Coetzee and Leek won the off-road challenge. This program was brought to you by Castrol South Africa.